So I am doing my routine analysis on the financial market, and I was thinking, why not I document part of the process just in case some of you might be interested. How do I analyze and find stocks, or sort of like get an idea what's happening in the market right now? So might as well, since I'm doing it, so I might as well just film it and document it and post it as a YouTube video just to share with you guys. So that's what this video is all about. And because this is very impromptu, I'm sharing the process, the sort of like behind the scenes. So expect a lot of things, especially my words and sentences are not going to be as polished because, English is not my native language. So let's do it. Hey, what is up everybody? Jin Hao here, back with another stock investing or trading video. And in this video, I'm going to document the behind the scenes process on how I analyze certain stocks or ETF and kind of like make some investing or trading, not to say decisions, but rather get some idea or get some, analysis outcomes so that I know how should I gauge my expectation towards certain stocks and things along those lines. So specifically for this video, I am going to analyze the ETFs and also the top 10 holdings of that ETFs from a technical analysis standpoint. So nothing about the fundamental. So by the way, the ETF that I am going to analyze is FXI. So the top 10 holdings of FXI are going to be analyzed as well. The reason why I'm analyzing FXI is because the China market has been really interesting. For the past couple of months, it has been forming higher highs and higher lows setup, as opposed to the US market, which has been breaking new low, and new low. Now I understand that at the point of recording, the US market is going up a little bit, but compared to the performance for the past couple of months, China is a little bit more interesting, at least in my opinion, alongside with the monetary easing that is happening in China right now. So I've made a video comparing the top 3 large cap equities ETFs in China. If you haven't checked that, links in the top right corner as usual. And without further ado, let's move on. But again, before we move on, very quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not licensed to give you any financial advice right over here. And understand that this is just a part of my entire workflow or analysis process. So it is not exhaustive, by the way. I'm not, a financial advisor or licensed analyst, things like that. So do your own research before putting your hard-earned money into any investments. There is definitely no buy or sell calls or solicitations in this video. Without me talking too much about those boring things, let's get into my laptop. So the first thing that I want to analyze is definitely FXI from a technical standpoint. So right now we can see that FXI is still in a downtrend. However, it bottomed out at the end or mid of March actually, and then it went all the way up, forming a high somewhere around beginning of April, and then it went down, create a low during the beginning of May. Then after that, FXI has been forming kind of like higher highs and higher lows setup, which may suggest that it has gotten back some positive or upward moving momentum. But again, this is an ETF, so what's inside this ETF is more important. But at least from a technical standpoint, at an aggregate level, I would say technical wise, this ETF is looking really great, and it has been my China equities ETF of choice personally. So right now, what I want to see is the FXI break out this $35 level, which is a rather strong resistance. As we can see, it is having some confluence right over here. So this is a previous support, and right now it is a resistance that is having confluence with the 200 days exponential moving average in this case. Next up, I would like to look into FXI top holdings and analyze them one by one. Now, why am I only going to the top 10? It is because we have limited time for this video. I don't want to bore you with like 50 stocks of it. And also, it's easier, okay, to analyze the top 10 in the sense that wherever the top 10 go, basically that would decide the direction of the ETF's price, because you can see that for FXI, the top 10 holdings weight in at 55.5%. So if these 10 companies are great in general, the ETF will definitely go up in price. All right, so the first company that we want to analyze is Alibaba. So let's go to Alibaba. I believe that this ETF is investing in the one not listed in the US, because the one in the US is just an ADR. But nonetheless, we can see that the trend is basically the same. All right, so Alibaba has been going down, okay, since fourth quarter of 2020. It has been going down until lately it started to go up. So we can see that right over here. Sorry for the messy drawing, accidentally draw that. All right, so you can see that during this is mid of March, okay, it bottomed out and went up, come down again, forming another low at mid of May. So you can see that because this weighs in very heavily in FXI, you can see that the direction of FXI, the pattern is very similar to what we are seeing, for this stock. So pattern very similar because it weighs very heavily in the ETF. So right now it is facing a resistance at the green line right over there, and then what I want to see is maybe retrace back down to challenge any short-term support and then break this line. Then that would be a really good sign. If it breaks the green line, then FXI can definitely go back up into a bullish trend for sure. Now the next stock would be Meituan. Okay, so Meituan, let's look at Meituan. Is the one, I'm not sure class B is listed in which one. I believe it's Hong Kong. Correct me if I'm wrong, because sometimes I don't really care about the details. I only care about the direction, and regardless which country they are being listed in, the price trends is more or less the same. The price trend is going to be the same most of the time, just that the little decimals or valuation might have some kind of disparity, but direction generally the same. Right, so for Meituan, basically it is piling, it is consolidating right now. So definitely a good sign. Okay, again, it bottomed out at somewhere around here, go up, then create a higher low, and then after that it went into a short-term uptrend, I would say. And right now it is facing some kind of resistance right over here, and I would say that, okay, if it doesn't break below this line, it's going to be great. So it is right now in a consolidation zone, I would say. Nonetheless, I would monitor this stock. If the stock were to go up, okay, definitely FXI is going to be impacted in a positive manner. And also I might be interested to trade this stock as well, because I have traded this stock in the past, okay, when it was in the very bullish trend back in 2020. Okay, so again, Meituan looks great to me. Next is Tencent. So Tencent is Wechat, if you do not know. Okay, so Tencent, the price trend lately, okay, it is still very far away from long-term resistance. It's around 16-17% away from the green line in this chart. So not the best, I would say. And granted, okay, this stock weighs quite heavily in a lot of major China large cap ETFs. This stock really has to perform well in order for ETFs like FXI to go into the bullish, super bullish trend again. But again, it did not break new low as of now, because the low was back in mid of March. Pretty much, I think a lot of these stocks bottomed out at during mid of March. So not a bad thing. Okay, not a bad thing seeing that it stops breaking new low, but it is relatively weaker compared to the other two stocks that we have discussed just now. So next up, let's go to JD.com Class A. So JD.com Class A, I believe, is the one listed in Hong Kong. Okay, so again, if you want to trade this stock, you can go with the one in NASDAQ version. Okay, if you have been already trading US stocks. Okay, just saying. All right, so again, this one is being trapped between this resistance and also having this support zone right over here, or even this level, which I think is a good support. Okay, it's quite congruent with other lines that we are seeing in this chart. So we still need some time to monitor this stock and see whether it will go down or it would, go up. So of course, if it goes up, then things are going to be better because it weighs in at 6% for FXI. Next is China Construction. So let's go to the stock. Okay, China Construction Bank. So this is not good when I look at this because recently it has a severe gap down. Okay, I think this is not a gap down. Is this I think this is a dividend right over here. It's a dividend, but again, this is not that strong. Okay, so this is a dividend of 43 cents. So price was 5.69. Okay, this is a dividend adjustment, I believe. So again, I've mentioned before, as far as investing, trading, and all those things are being concerned, as far as stock is concerned, I am not a fan of dividend. Okay, I'm not a fan of dividend. If you want to check that video out, and I highly encourage you to check that because it's a little bit controversial, but I do share my opinions about it based on my experience. So check that in the top right corner and also links in the description. I highly encourage you to watch that after watching this video because that explains why I don't like dividend. Just to share with you, this is a dividend and this is also a dividend. So after a big dividend payout, stocks usually do not trend well. You can see right over here. But this is a habit of banking stocks, I would say. Okay, they like to give dividends. But nonetheless, looking at this stock, I'm not really liking it because you can see that it is sort of like weaker than the market. It keeps challenging the previous low and right now forming a new low. Now, despite it is being adjusted for dividend in this case, but I still don't think that is great because compared to the rest, I don't see significant strength when it comes to these stock. All right, so not really liking it, but it weighs in at 4.67 in FXI. That's the thing that we have to deal with. Next is industrial and commercial. Okay, I believe it's a bank as well. So that's the one, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, listed in Hong Kong. So again, you can see that banking shares is not really doing that well. Okay, the pattern is more or less the same with the China Construction Bank. So one thing that worth re-mentioning is that finance sector comes in at 30%. Okay, weighting in at 30% in FXI, but the top holdings, at least the top 4, are technology. So I am still thinking that this is a great diversification per se, but definitely if those banking stocks or finance related stocks are not doing well, it would definitely throttle down the overall performance of these ETFs, okay, which is FXI in this case. But if the technology, because right now the great patterns that we have seen are all from technology sector. The Alibaba, Meituan, Tencent is great as well. JD, okay, want to break the EMA 200. So they are in a better shape compared to the banking stocks in this regard. So if banking stocks were to throttle down the performance of FXI, we can definitely see that the other China equities ETFs that are having higher weightage in technology sector like KWEB or even CQQQ, they might outperform ETFs like FXI. But nonetheless, I still like the diversification of FXI better than the rest because I'm already heavily invested in the US ETFs that are in the tech, okay? All those semiconductors and also QQQ and things along those lines. So I have enough exposure in technology already. At least that's what I'm thinking. So next up, we look at Baidu. Okay, so Baidu. So this is also tech, definitely. So I believe this one is the one listed in Hong Kong. But again, this one is listed in Hong Kong, and there's another one listed in Nasdaq. So you can see that basically the trend is the same. Okay, the trend is the same. So let's go back to the one in Hong Kong. Okay, this is, I think it's not too bad. Okay, I think it's not too bad in a way that it has already broken. This one is quite newly listed. Okay, compared to the one in Nasdaq. Yeah, this one have more track record. Okay, so let's just analyze based on this. So you can see that it is right now breaking above the green line right over here. So I think this is the first great step that I personally always looking for. Okay, now previously it tend to break and give a forced breakout, but this time around it seems like piling movements above this line. So I think that it is really a good beginning. So whether or not it will continue to go up, we shall see. And looking at these stocks, I do think that this can be a great trading candidate as well. Again, no buy or sell call, just saying. Okay, that's what comes into my mind right now at the point of looking at this chart. All right, next one, I will look at Ping An Insurance. So this one is finance related, definitely. So Ping An Insurance. So this is okay, is not as bad as the other banking stocks that we have talked about just now, but nonetheless, it is not the strongest one. Okay, so we have a sort of like triple bottom here at around $46, and right now it has some kind of upward momentum, but it is not strong until that it will intrigue me to say that this is a great stocks among the China equities. Okay, so it is about 8 to 9% away from the long-term resistance. So this we still need to monitor for a bit. Right, next is Wussy Bio. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, so Caymans, yeah, this one is the one with the Cayman. Yeah, so again, this looks great. This looks great because it has gone up to the above EMA 200, and ideally you want to see the stock come back down, retrace, and maybe to any support, and then continue to go up. Trend wise, this is really looking good, especially during this period of time. So I think the sad thing is it only weighs in at 3.49%, right? So if Alibaba or Meituan behaves like this, that would definitely send FXI to the moon. All right, so again, not too bad. Granted that this stock is already going up above the 200 days moving average. Next up, BYD, which is the last stock that I would cover in this sharing. So BYD, this is good. Okay, this is good. My first reaction, this is good because it is breaking the high. Okay, so when it comes to trading, this is the kind of trend that I always prioritize. Okay, I always prioritize. It is trading at, I believe this is an all-time high. Yeah, it is all-time high because $300 over. Okay, so it is trading at all-time high, which is what I like as a trend follower. So as far as trading is concerned, I am a trend follower. So I always look at stocks that are in an uptrend, and all-time high is the best. If not, then 52 weeks high. Now for investment, things can vary, but those are for separate portfolios. So when I make analysis like this, I think from two different perspectives and see whether or not I want to allocate this a little bit to my investment portfolio, or I want to add it into a trading idea for my trading portfolio. Now, I wouldn't invest individual companies for the most part. I'm doing this analysis just to have a baseline on how should I expect FXI specifically, okay, to perform in the near future, because right now China market is very interesting and I have FXI in my investment portfolio. But right now, looking at BYD company, this stock is definitely going into my watch list for my trading portfolio. So again, looking at this, it definitely has higher chance to go up. Okay, stocks that are in an uptrend or anything that is in an uptrend has a higher probability to go up rather than down. So looking at this, okay, again, it weighs in at 3.45% in FXI. So again, this is looking great. I hope that every stock in the top 10, okay, of FXI is going to behave like this. But this is a good stock, okay, this is a good stock, and I'm glad that it is in the top 10 holdings of FXI. So after analyzing the top 10 holdings of FXI, the kind of expectation that I put on FXI right now is that it wouldn't go up very fast even if the China equity market were to perform. Because right now we see that, at least from my analysis just now, the tech sectors, okay, is picking up, but the banking stocks are still lagging behind. And stocks like BYD company is really great and is very performing and is the best out of these 10 as far as trend is concerned. But it does not weigh as heavy as the other tech giants and also banking stocks that I have just analyzed just now. So when it comes to the expectation, I don't think FXI will go to the shoot up very fast and go to the moon, at least for the next maybe couple of weeks or months. But nonetheless, at a most generic level, I think that things are heading towards a rather positive direction. There's no guarantee, okay? Some of the stocks might just reverse down and break support, things like that, and then things might go into a downtrend again, okay, long-term downtrend again, and whatnot. All right, so again, these are just the behind the scene on how I analyze the ETFs or individual stocks. Okay, so again, this is not the entire analysis. This is part of the process that I plan to document just now. Okay, I was thinking, why not I just document this? All right, so that will be all for this video. I hope that you enjoy this video and learn something. With that being said, like this video if you get some benefits from it, and subscribe for more content just like this one. Turn on your notification bell, and I will see you when I see you. Peace out.